Welcome to Vision Talks, part of the Vision Youth Exchange co-founded by the European Union. Today, we look at the moment of many of us probably remember. We will see that. The first time we felt misinformation was a real problem. So, when you did first realize misinformation is a real problem?
Okay, thank you for this inviting to be here. And for me, the I realized that it started the problem when I saw that most of the young people start to take some actions and some behaviors and some positions that were not the good ones. They were not healthy ones. So I realized that the social media was spreading information that was not that was some of populist information, things that they wanted to hear, and not things that make them thought about the reality. And that, for me, it was a shock and a way, the time that I think that something must be done about this. Okay.
Well, I got exposed to misinformation when I was very little. My friends, I don't specifically remember the post that was misinformed, but I know that my friends were spreading around that misinformation because it was very popular with the kids my age back then. And well, they were just spreading it like wildfire. Most of the kids that were younger than me, older than me, also spread that information. But I was always against it because I never liked any of the topics that it spread. So it began my journey of not spreading misinformation, and I was honestly proud. Not ex- uh, I was proud of not spreading that information. And when I go older and older, I'm happy that I didn't spread that information at that time. And yeah, I'm happy that I didn't.
Okay, I remember when I was little and one of my favorite singer, Bruno Mars. I don't know why, but someone sent me a post of his death. But I was really little, so I was kinda crying, kinda bad for that news. And of course, I don't know if it was the first one or many of the other fake news that I read. But from that moment, I remember that I start to check before sending other people some news.
And for me, I didn't realize it at a very young age. It was actually when I started studying my degree. So I studied translation, and in order to translate most of the text or even do interpretations, um, we have to do a lot of research. And in the first year, most of the research I used to do uh, tend to be wrong. And so I learned that I had to not only double check information but triple check information in order to, uh, for example, do this thing I like for a living.
For me, I think the one of the first moments I realized that misinformation was a real problem was where when I had to go to vote for the first time for the elections in Italy, and because I was asking my friends and my family what opinions do they have, and I realized that many of them didn't actually know what to vote and what were the ideas of the candidates. Um, Now, with a little bit of more maturity, I know that voting is a real important thing, and it is important to know who are you voting with, who are you voting for, and for which reason, no? Because we live, fortunately, not luckily, sorry, luckily we live in a democracy, and democracy can function if everyone is conscious about what he's doing and for who is voting. So um, this is maybe the first moment.
Just one more question. It is easy to fall for misinformation right now. What are your thoughts about this?
Yes, I think it's easy to fall from misinformation because there are too many information. Um, every media is wants to be the first and wants to have something new to present. So because they know if they are the first with something new, they can have more viewers, more clicks, and so they don't have time. We don't have time. They don't have the time, and we don't have the time to see if the information is true or not. We just absorb, and that's really dangerous for being misinformation. Sorry,
Misinformed, yeah.
misinformed. Sorry.
Well, in my case, it depends on like how big the group is. Like a friend group, let's say if a friend group is like 10 people big and 7 of them are spreading misinformation and they don't know about it, so they're just spreading true information in their eyes, most of the group will follow on because no one, in my case, no one wants to be that one deserter because everyone thinks if you're that one guy who doesn't agree with the group, you're the guy in the wrong, even if you know internally that you are the right person and you have the right mindset, you know the right thing you're talking about, and all of the things that you say are the right things and they are false, they will still believe whatever the group says, not whatever you say, because you're one and they're multiple. So
And it's easy to be quiet in that scenario.
yeah, it's easy to be quiet because most of the people, when they're alone and they're right, they usually don't, let's say, fact check the bigger group because they know they're not gonna listen and they have a fixed mindset that they're always right, and B, because if they do, they may have a chance to actually sway people and have and happily and respectfully tell them that they're wrong, and they can learn from that right person. But also in that case, those people can say, "Oh yeah, you're right," and then the next day completely forget that whatever he said, because he's one guy. Most of us are in a group. We're correct, and so he's the guy in the wrong.
And is there, by any chance, is there a $1 million solution to fix that?
I would hope there is, but the experience I have with a lot of friends that they are swayed by group opinions, I would say there's not a value chance. Like, it can be swayed by money easily. I'm not saying that it can't, but swayed in a good direction. Mostly the people that want it to be swayed in a bad direction are the ones that are gonna pay the most. So that's my view of.
Thank you. Yeah.
Can I add something?
Yeah, of
Yes,
course.
I have an
Just pull the mic.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I have an experience that personal experience that with someone who have a group of friends, and sometimes he thinks different from that group of friends, and they discuss a lot, and this person that I know, he defends his point of view, but it's funny because he defends his point of view, but their friend, his friends does not agree, but they stay okay with that. There is no,
Yeah, they're accepting of
they
it, but
accept,
they
but
don't.
they don't.
Yeah.
It's not only about the money. Sometimes it's just a form of respect. Respect, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just, sorry. Thank you.
Go ahead.
In my opinion, too, I'm according with my friends because there is a lot of misinformation, and in my case, in my life, I almost ever checked before spreading my opinion, before I don't know, like have a critical think about that new. So yeah, but it's a real problem that a lot of people have, and we will try to solve it. I think in the future. I hope in the future.
We are here for that, at least for starting to.
I mean, to add to what the things that Marta said at the beginning, I feel like we live in a society that's always in a rush, and has become very lazy with things like AI. And so each time, even more and more people are stopping to think and double check or even question it. Things they're reading or seeing or hearing in the media.
And sometimes they double check on AI. So
Exactly. And so it's like a loop, a never ending story. So, yeah.
The question was if we are able to spot the misinformation, right? Because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay, sorry, perfect. I think with social medias, it it it, it became easier to stay informed, to read the news, but also to spread misinformation. I think younger generation like our generation has um, a bit of experience on social media. So maybe we have mm, some instruments to spot misinformation more than more than the new generations who are approaching now the social medias, and then the older generation who for whom is more difficult to manage them. Also with AI nowadays, it's becoming even more difficult because we can before AI we could rely on what we saw, you know, and now even the images and even the videos are unreliable. So who knows in the future? But nowadays it's becoming more difficult, I guess.
um, n- try not to get to not to stay in a party, but how can you explain while we have um, many tools, we our generation and earlier generations are more engaged with social media, they know how to work with them. How can we explain that they are becoming part of the populist movements on and on, and it's becoming a growing problem in our society? And every populist movement, not
Yes.
just one, not just the right one or the left one, every populist movement. How can we explain that younger people are falling for that type of movement of extremism movements?
I think nowadays the society is really polarized, um, because people look for no more look for the information for the news, but look for the idea. They want to, not everyone, of course, but nowadays it seems like we want to be told what to think instead of be told what is the news and then make a thought out of it. Also, the newspapers are getting more and more they exposed in one side or another one, and so this may be the reason why young people getting like joining extreme movements.
Okay. Do you want to add anything to this question or?
Yes, I heard of a study. I don't know if it's true or not, but the about the young
That's
people.
how misinformation
Yes,
starts.
yes. That's why I'm saying.
Kidding.
That's why I'm saying. The source was the person that told me about this study was reliable, but I did not see the study, so I must. I just wanted to add that the young people that go for the extreme movements, political parties, they are not. Sometimes they do not agree with the ideas, but just want to say no for what it is the established system. Do you understand?
Yep.
So maybe we have a, if that's the case, maybe we have a, how we say it, tá uma salvação?
Yeah. I hope a light in our way.
Yes, a light in the an end of the tunnel to help this new generation to see otherwise. Yes, yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being here, recognizing misinformation of course, it's a way of resisting it, I guess.
Yes.
Thank you very much, and see you on Thursday on
Thanks
another
to you.
episode of Vision Talks. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.